Hi, my name is Anna. I'm a junior here at BU studying at Questrom, and today I'm going to be talking about college stress. Coming back in person to college has been a very exciting time, and I'm so glad to be back here, but it's also brought some anxieties and some stressors back into my life that I haven't had in a while. I've recently solidified a few things that I do in my life every day that help me alleviate the stress that I feel, and I just want to share that with you guys and maybe give you guys some ideas of what you can do in your day-to-day to do the same thing. Getting back into the routine of college is always a little bit stressful, and this year especially coming back after online learning. But I try to do things throughout my day, including a regular caffeine intake, that just keep me motivated and sort of alleviate some of that stress that comes with coming back to school. I'm so tired. When it comes to mental health, my biggest struggle is anxiety. When it comes to school, I love to freak myself out. I love that. You know, when I have a nice moment, I love being like, oh, but what if this goes wrong? That's my favorite thing to do to myself. It's so amazing. And also, you know, I have a little social anxiety that just gets in the way sometimes. Those are, the things that I deal with daily that are kind of hard sometimes. But I feel like all these things that I do, they help me just pause and just chill and regain focus on what really matters. I feel like at first it was kind of hard to walk without a mask outside. Mostly for me it was because I wasn't incognito anymore. And I guess when you stop doing something for a while and getting back into it is always a little bit nerve-wracking. But honestly for me, I just force myself to do it every day. It gets easier and easier every day now. I have some really great walks to class. So the official term for basically forcing yourself to do things that make you nervous is called exposure therapy. I think the most prevalent example of exposure therapy in my life was this summer. I had a job working with the military and it terrified me, made me so nervous. And I remember my boss, she was like, okay, your first task is gonna be calling these 200 Army generals and asking them to basically turn in this form. And I was like, okay. The first 5 to 10 calls, I was visibly shaking. My heart was like beating out of my chest. But then the more I was doing it, I was like, wait, this isn't even that bad. Like, they're nice people, like they're just people. By the time that I called like 100 people, it was nothing to me. With things coming back to normal COVID-wise, I feel like we're out of practice on a lot of things. I haven't sat in a room with people and, talked to classmates in real life in so long. If things like this make you nervous coming back into it, since we haven't done so many things in so long, sometimes, unfortunately, the best thing to do when something makes you really nervous is just to do it. So the next thing that I do, I don't know where I heard this, but someone famous said that you should be doing at least one good thing for yourself every day. For me, these small things range from getting my favorite drink, or painting, or cooking, which is what I'm doing in this part of the video. Here I was making a family recipe, which is called golubtsi. It's basically stuffed cabbage. I don't know if that sounds good to you, but it's really good. And I've been trying to do these things more often because it helps me remember each day with something good. And it's also helped me appreciate the little things a lot more in life. Sometimes just me taking time to get my favorite drink at Starbucks or something, it lifts my mood enough for me to keep going. So I really recommend that you try this out because it's really small changes, but eventually they add up. I just know that it's helped me enormously to just take a break every day and do something nice for myself so that I can continue on with all of my responsibilities in a good mood and knowing that I'm prioritizing self-care. Recently, I found myself getting really worried about my future career path, but I just try to catch myself in those moments and bring myself back to the present. And what helps me is just finding a quiet place in a crowded place like Questrom and just think about what I can do that day or that week for my future success. Because I've just learned that sitting there worrying about it is just not proactive and it's not going to help me at all. It's the morning. I have some time before I have to start my day, so I am sitting on our porch. Let me show you what we got going on. Got my coffee. Just gonna journal a bit. Here's my dresser that I painted. It helps a lot to have a place that you can just escape to sometimes, even if it's your porch or, you know, something other than your room. When I lived on East Campus, I would go to parks, but now I live very far away from the parks. But now I have this amazing porch. It's just great to just have that time for myself sometimes and just recharge. Okay, so this is my little journal. I just got it at Target. Sometimes I have no thoughts. I don't even know. I just go for my stream of consciousness. And then other times I have a lot to like try to figure out in my life, and I fill up those pages. I have a journal every year. And so every year, you know, I'll journal every few days and stuff. Every New Year's, I have this little tradition with myself where I read through my journal for the year. It's nice, first of all, to get down your thoughts, to express your feelings in sort of a private way, but also to look back on your own personal growth. It is so surreal to see your progress over a short amount of time. When it comes to classes, I've been trying out a new thing that's really helped me, and it is basically based on planning ahead. So I have these two planners. This is my day-by-day one, and then I also have a weekly one. And at the beginning of the semester, I just wrote down every single thing that I need to do this semester. So that's tests, assignments. So I just have it all down there so I don't forget and I don't miss assignments and stuff. I used to study for all my tests either the day of or the night before, but recently I've been trying to study and work on things way in advance, a week or two before, so that I don't have to cram. And I've been getting a lot better grades. For me, it helps to write things down time management wise, and just get an outlook of what I need to do that week or that month, so that I can plan ahead and then not, you know, have a last minute stressful study session and then not perform as well as I could have. If you don't want to get a planner, you can also do this. I have an Excel sheet. This also it's color coded based on class, and it's every single assignment, every single test, everything that I need to do. I think planning ahead also helps me get in more time for my hobbies and things outside of school, so that I'm not putting too much on my plate in a short period of time. So social media is great, and it's brought a lot of good things into my life, like YouTube, but we all know that it has very bad effects on your mental health. And I think especially with apps like TikTok that are designed to keep you on the app as long as possible, it gets really hard to set those healthy boundaries with yourself. There's been so many times where I got sucked into TikTok at night and just ended up being on it for hours and just not getting the amount of sleep that I needed. And I was just waking up feeling a lot more anxious than usual. But something that I try to do now is not be on my phone for longer than 30 minutes at night, because I know if I pass 30 minutes, it's just never gonna end. And I've also tried to find things that I can do before bed, such as reading or painting, that are not social media. It's definitely hard sometimes to control your social media intake because it's such a prevalent thing in our lives, and there's so many addictive apps around, but I think trying, especially at night before bed, to control your social media intake is the most important. So I hope that I was able to give you some tips in this video of how to manage and alleviate college stress. These are things that you can do every day. They're really small changes, but for me, they have helped me so much. Obviously, it's different for every person, but I do recommend that you try to implement at least one of these tips into your life and just see if it helps you. But yeah, if you want to see more of me, I have my own YouTube channel, so if you want to go there, you can go there. It'll be linked down below. But other than that, see you next time.